Ika-31 nga sesyon ng Sangguniang Panlungsod, Syudad Hiton, Borongan, Marso 27, 2020.
Mapay nga agay mo tanan. So before we start, mapay gapit nagsisisugahin para at least there is some form of normality din hiyata city. So our 31st regular session is now called to order. Let us all stand for the opening prayer to be led by Honorable Lani Anakta.
Let us put ourselves in the presence of the Lord, in the name of the Father, of the Son, of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the gift of good health and peace that we have enjoyed for so many years. As we find ourselves in this time of crisis today, we ask your divine intervention and mercy to be upon each of us. We also pray for the healthcare workers that are standing in the front line of this battle. Father, we thank you for their hearts of service, putting the needs of society before their own, generously responding to the cry of your people. We ask that you will grant them strength and protection as they give of themselves in selfless service. May you fill them with your Holy Spirit as they work to be your healing hands and feet. Father, we also surrender to you all those who have been afflicted with the virus. Grant them your healing grace, merciful Father, so that they may recover swiftly and continue to be witnesses of your love in their lives. Cover each of us with your blue mantle of protection, so that we may be preserved in good health to continue to glorify your Son, Jesus Christ. We make this prayer through Christ, our Savior and Redeemer. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
For the Sangguniang Panlungsod Members' Creed, the Honorable Curti, please lead the creed.
The Councilor's Creed. I'm a Philippine Councilor.
I'm a Philippine Councilor.
Mandated by law to enact measures and ordinances.
Mandated by law to enact measures and ordinances.
That redound to the general welfare of my constituents.
That redound to the general welfare of my constituents.
In their pursuit for happiness, peace, and prosperity.
In their pursuit for happiness, peace, and prosperity.
I believe in public service above self.
I believe in public service above self.
As the guiding principle of my official acts.
As the guiding principle of my official acts.
And as I tread the pathways of local legislation.
And as I tread the pathways of local legislation.
May the Almighty guide my mind and heart.
May the Almighty guide my mind and heart.
That I shall be true to my constituents and to the Filipino people.
That I shall be true to my constituents and the Filipino people.
Please settle down.
Mr. Presiding Officer, 10 SP members are present. This constitutes a quorum. You may proceed with your session.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Secretary. And as attested by our Secretary that there are 10 members present, the Chair hereby confirms that we have a quorum. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Okay, now move on to the approval of the order of business.
Madam Floor Leader. The Honorable Daza.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. I would like to move that we move under our calendar of business, item number 3, committee report, letter A, regarding the review of Barangay Ordinance of Punta Maria, establishing Dumbrog Yungod and Kasudkan as sanctuary, and development of appropriate management plan thereof to status report, since I did not request for a committee report for this regular session. Thank you.
Okay. Noted, noted. Mr. Secretary, please take note.
Okay, noted.
Any other amendments? Revisions to our order of business, calendar of business? Madam Floor Leader?
Honorable Presiding Officer, I move that we approve our order of business as amended.
Any second? Any objections? Further discussions? None? So our order of business for today is hereby approved. Secretary, next.
Okay, let us move on now to the calendar of business. Under status report, we have the laws and rules on the review of Barangay Ordinance of Punta Maria, establishing Dum Road, Yungod, and Kasudkan as sanctuary, and development of appropriate management plan thereof.
So the Committee Chair of Laws and Rules, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. The assessment of the areas identified in Barangay Ordinance of Punta Maria has not yet been assessed due to our public health emergency. Therefore, this ordinance is subject for further committee meetings.
Okay, noted, noted. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Finance, regarding the proposed ordinance declaring Sunday as Tabo Day.
The Committee Chair on Finance, you have the floor.
Honorable Presiding Officer, the last meeting held on this matter was before the enhanced community quarantine was declared, and this has already evolved into not declaring Sunday as a taboo day, but declaring our taboo day during a night market. So I will still conduct several meetings regarding this matter for us to come up with an ordinance.
Okay, thank you. Noted. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Committee on Education regarding the proposed ordinance granting allowance to indigent students and hearing with ISO College of CBMA on their field trips considering the current emergency situation.
The Committee Chair on Finance, you have the floor.
Education.
Education, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. With respect to the proposed ordinance granting allowance to indigent students, this has to give way to the more pressing matters on COVID, considering that we are now in an enhanced community quarantine, the whole province of Eastern Samar. However, with respect to the proposed hearing with the ISO College of Law, with the ISO College of CBME on their field trips, I was informed that all field trips from the university were suspended as of the time, considering that there is now the health emergency situation not only in the province of Eastern Samar but throughout the whole country. Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Okay, noted. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Laws and rules regarding the later complaint from the Council of Barangay Tabuk against their barangay chairman, Ralph Alconaba.
There should be a news to
The Committee Chair on Laws and Rules.
Yes, po. Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. Honorable Ralph Alconaba has requested for an extension regarding this matter. May I read to you the letter? Motion for extension. The defendant, Honorable Ralph Alconaba, in the above entitled case, respectfully alleges that the defendant was served with a summon to answer and a copy of the complaint on March 3, 2020, and consequently has only up to 18 of the March 2020 within which to file an answer. Second, the defendant has his official travel to Baguio City, where his flight route passed through Clark, Pampanga to Tacloban City, Philippines, vice versa, on March 9 to 13, 2020, and he is now considered as PUM and as such shall undergo self-quarantine in light of the COVID-19 threat to the community. He will need additional time of 15 days from March 28, 2020, the end of the 14-day requirement for self-quarantine, to complete and file an answer. 3, that this motion is being filed solely for the foregoing reason and not for purpose of delay. Wherefore, it is respectfully prayed that defendant be given an extension of time of 15 days from March 28, 2020, within which to file an answer to the complaint. City of Boronga, March 18, 2020, signed Honorable Ralph M. Alconaba. And we responded to his request that the honorable body has submitted a letter in view of the present declaration of enhanced community quarantine due to COVID-19. Your request for extension of submitting a reply to the notice in relation to the complaint filed against you shall be extended for 5 days after the ECQ is lifted on April 5, 2020. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Committee Chair on Laws and Rules. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Barangay Affairs regarding the resolution authorizing the local chief executive to enter in CAMUA with the barangay local government units, relative to the request for assistance, donations, funding of barangay projects and programs.
Since
Point of order, Honorable
yes, go ahead,
Presiding Officer.
Honorable Inday.
During our last session, this was agreed to be stricken off since this was supposed to be for the meeting to craft the AIP for this year, which is already submitted and
Yes,
approved.
yes. So this is moot and academic already. So Mr. Secretary, please take note to stricken this out. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Committee on Finance regarding the assessor's request proposed revision of the schedule of market value of real property in the city of Borongan.
The Committee Chair on Finance, you have the floor.
Honorable Presiding Officer, the same status as last session. We already held several meetings regarding this. We are waiting for several documents since we do not want to propose a revision or an increase in our fair market value without granting a possible amnesty to those who may be affected, since we're talking about more than a decade of unupdated real property values in the city. So we will proceed or conduct several meetings after our ACQ is lifted.
Okay, noted. So next item, Mr.
Okay,
Secretary.
we move on to the Social Welfare Committee regarding the proposed revision of Gender and Development Code.
The Committee Chair on Social Welfare, you have the floor.
Honorable Presiding Officer, I'm still on the process of revising this Gender and Development Code.
Okay, noted. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Okay, Finance regarding the 2019 General Revenue Assessment and Property Classification in the City of Borongan for so on to Section 219 of the Local Government
So
Code.
the Committee Chair on Finance.
Honorable Presiding Officer, the same status as last session, since we already have our ACQ in place. We were not able to conduct committee meetings, but we have already conducted several committee meetings on this, and considering that we are talking about the general revenue of the city, this entails a lot of work, and this needs a lot of time for us to be able to amend our tax code.
Okay, noted. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Disaster management regarding the proposed ordinance mandating all motorcycle riders to wear protective helmets while driving.
The Committee Chair on Disaster Management.
Mr. Presiding Officer, for the Committee of Disaster Management, we conducted a committee meeting together with the members on the proposed ordinance. But on the committee meeting, we have scheduled for public hearing due to COVID-19. We cannot yet identify the schedule, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Okay, noted. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Okay, let us move on to the Committee on Personnel Administration regarding the Legislative Human Resource Development Plan.
Honorable Presiding
Yes,
Officer,
go ahead, the Committee Chair.
we are still in the process of crafting the Legislative Human Resource Development Plan. The committee has not convened yet due to the declaration of the enhanced community quarantine.
Okay, noted. Thank you. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Committee on Transportation regarding an ordinance prescribing clear guidelines on towing, impounding, and releasing of impounded vehicles and providing certain penalties as may be appropriate and necessary.
The Committee Chair on
Mr. Presiding Officer,
Transportation. Yes.
my office get hold already of some researches on these ordinances. On this ordinance, we have researches from other cities and municipalities. I am crafting the final draft for submission to a committee hearing already,
Okay. Thank
which
you.
will be scheduled very, very soon.
Okay. Thank you, and noted, the Honorable Rago. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Youth and Sports Development regarding the proposed ordinance creating Borongan City Sports Council.
The Committee Chair on Youth and Sports.
Yes po, Honorable Presiding Officer. Our scheduled committee meeting was been suspended due to our public health emergency and will be scheduled as soon as our ACQ is lifted by our local chief executive.
Okay,
Thank you.
noted. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Okay, laws and rules regarding an ordinance prescribing rules and procedures on administrative cases filed before the Sangguniang Panlungsod.
The Committee Chair on Laws and Rules.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. The Committee on Laws and Rules conducted several committee meetings, but only several sections has been discussed. This needs more further committee meetings after our ACQ is lifted.
Okay, noted. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Laws and rules regarding an ordinance operationalizing freedom of information in the city government of Borongan and providing guidelines therefore.
The committee chair on laws and rules.
Thank you. The subject ordinance has already been localized, and after the ECQ is lifted, we will conduct immediately a committee meeting regarding this matter.
Okay, noted. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Laws and rules regarding the resolution creating a backstopping committees of the Sangguniang Panlungsod.
The committee chair on laws and rules.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. Since the city of Borongan is currently busy addressing the concerns of our health emergency, so after the ECQ is lifted again, we will conduct a committee meeting. Thank you.
Noted. Next item, Mr. Secretary.
Committee on Transportation regarding the memorandum issued by the ILG prohibiting tricycle, pedicab on national highways.
So the committee chair on transportation. You have the floor.
I have manifested before that I was waiting for the Traffic Management Bureau for their dry run, and that was before the enhanced quarantine was scheduled. But as of now, they have not finished the dry run first on several streets, so I cannot submit the final draft of the ordinance to the committee.
Okay.
Hopefully, the Management Bureau and the VCTT could come up with the result of the dry run.
Okay, noted, noted. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Okay, we move on to the Committee on Tourism regarding the proposed ordinance prescribing rules and guidelines for the establishment, operation, and maintenance of cockpit arenas and derby centers and regulating regular cockfighting and stag derbies in the city of Borongan.
The committee chair on tourism.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. The committee had already scheduled a committee hearing with regards to the proposed ordinance, but on the day itself, the council decided that we will postpone every committee hearing due to the COVID-19 health emergency issue. So we will wait until the quarantine is lifted and we'll reschedule the committee hearing.
Okay, noted. Next item, Mr. Secretary.
Committee on Agriculture regarding an ordinance institutionalizing the farmers, fisher folk, and livestock producers enterprises development program of the local government unit of Borongan City, Eastern Samar, providing funds therefore and for other purposes.
The committee chair on agriculture.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. Just for the record, although I have not yet received a copy of this proposed ordinance, although I am the chair of the Committee on Agriculture, but nonetheless, once this COVID issue is finally over, I can assure everyone that the committee will start conducting its hearing for the approval, expeditious approval of this ordinance, proposed ordinance.
Okay, noted. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Committee on Finance regarding the annual budget of the General Fund of Barangay Camada for fiscal year 2019.
The committee chair on finance.
Honorable Presiding Officer, the committee has not been able to conduct a meeting yet since this was referred to the committee last session, and after such time, we already had an enhanced community quarantine in Borongan City. Therefore, we are limiting our gatherings to until the ECQ is lifted.
Okay, noted. Next item, Mr. Secretary.
Laws and rules regarding the memorandum number JIDCA 003-0320 dated March 3, endorsement of verified complaint against Sara Basilian Serila Factor for grave misconduct.
So the committee chair on laws and rules.
Honorable Presiding Officer, last March 3, we submitted a notice requiring Kagawad Basilia and Kagawad Factor to submit their answer, and this was their reply. May I read to you?
Yes, go ahead.
The letter. The Honorable Emmanuel T. Chusongco, Vice Mayor, Borongan City, March 21, 2020. Sir, this pertains to the complaint filed before the Sangguniang Panlungsod against us by the OIC, Solid Waste Management Officer of this city, alleging the undersigned for knowingly, maliciously, and intentionally and unlawfully violating and disregarding established city solid waste management rules and regulations, particularly Section 42 of Municipal Ordinance Number 37, by refusing and preventing city personnel from collecting waste, and garbage in Barangay Canabong to the prejudice and detriment of public welfare, and which the undersigned were given 15 days upon receipt to submit an answer to your office to help the Sangguniang decide fairly and impartially. While we thank the Honorable Vice Mayor and the members of the Sangguniang Panlungsod for giving us the opportunity to hear our side, we would like to manifest our request, the Honorable Vice Mayor, for an extension in the submission of our answer in view of the current crisis besetting our city and the whole country, which is under enhanced community quarantine brought about by this COVID-19 threat, enjoining everyone observe strict home quarantine to avoid the spread and contamination of this deadly virus. Rest assured that we will submit our answer on or before April 5, 2020, or as soon as the enhanced community quarantine is lifted. Thank you very much for your kind consideration, and let us work together in flattening the COVID-19 contamination curve. Very respectfully yours, signed Sara S. Basilia and Cirilla A. Factor. And we granted their motion for extension, and the defendant shall submit their answer 5 days after the ECQ is lifted on April 5, 2020. Thank you.
Okay, noted. Thank you, the Committee Chair on Laws and Rules. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Okay, Joint Committee, Transportation and Finance, regarding the proposed ordinance establishing free transportation for students and senior citizens in Borongan City, providing funds therefore and for other purposes.
The Committee Chairs on Transport
Mr.
and Finance.
Presiding Officer,
Yes, go ahead.
the draft ordinance is already at hand, and it was scheduled for final committee meeting and public hearing. However, because of the COVID-19 situation, the scheduled committee meeting and public hearing was postponed, most particularly because this involves so many sectors of our society, the students, the senior citizens. So I am rescheduling again this for final committee meeting and public hearing.
Honorable Presiding Officer.
Yes, go ahead, Honorable Kinde.
In addition to the manifestation of Honorable Arago, I would just also like to manifest that, as stated, this involves several sectors in our government, and we cannot, our committee has decided that we are going after the quality of our ordinance, taking into consideration all sectors who will be adversely affected by this ordinance. That is why we are not really expediting the process of approving or having this ordinance approved until and unless we have heard all sides from the sectors that will be affected by this ordinance.
Okay, noted. So next item, Mr.
Okay,
Secretary.
we move on to the Joint Committee, Peace and Order and Laws and Rules, regarding the proposed resolution authorizing the City Mayor in behalf of CLGU Borongan to enter into a memorandum agreement with the National Bureau of Investigation.
So the Committee Chairs on Peace and Order and Laws and Rules. You have the floor. Honorable
Mr.
Magakay.
Presiding Officer, the Joint Committee of Peace and Order and Laws and Rules have not yet conducted a meeting. This is also due to the COVID-19 emergency response to our community. And since there's no urgency coming from our local chief executive, so we therefore defer this muna nga po. Thank you.
Okay, noted. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Okay, Joint Committee, Social Welfare and Barangay Affairs, regarding the resolution authorizing the City Mayor to enter into MOA with the Community-Based Monitoring System, the ILG, to the Bureau of Local Government Development for the proposed establishment and implementation of the Community-Based Monitoring System in Borongan City.
So the Committee Chairs on Social Welfare and Barangay Affairs.
Honorable Presiding Officer, this was just referred to the Committee on Social Welfare last regular session, and given the situation we are facing right now, we haven't scheduled a meeting yet. But rest assured, after we lift the ECQ, I will coordinate with our planning officer to schedule a committee meeting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Noted. So, next item, Mr. Secretary.
Okay, let us now move on to the new business. We have a proposed ordinance, an ordinance institutionalizing the grant of emergency financial assistance to the frontline workers of the city government of Borongan during public emergencies.
The Honorable Kainday.
Honorable Presiding Officer, this proposed ordinance has came up due also to the fact of the situation that we're currently facing right now. So, in the exercise of the powers of the Sangguniang to look at what is good for the general welfare of our city, and that also recognizing that there are calamities or incidences or even disasters that could disrupt the normal operations of the city, I would like to propose, this body would like to propose to institutionalize a financial assistance to frontline workers during public emergencies. So in our case, it is a public health emergency. Therefore, our public health workers, our checkpoint personnel, and other frontline workers are working overtime. Even our barangay officials are working overtime in order to address the situation. Therefore, we should pass and approve, institutionalize a financial assistance to frontline workers whenever there are public emergencies. I therefore move that we refer this matter to a joint committee of the Committee on Health, chaired by Honorable Sadak, Committee on Disaster, chaired by Honorable Renato Bagakay, and Committee on Finance, since this will involve financial assistance. The Committee on Disaster taking the lead.
Okay, so the Honorable
Mr. Presiding Officer, I think there is now a declaration from the Department of Budget and Management that allowing incentives to the frontliners in this fight against COVID. I think there is a 500 hazard pay.
Yes.
It is already allowed.
500 per day.
So all we have to do is to look for funds, if there is an available fund, so that we can start dispensing these funds to our frontliners.
Yes. The Honorable Sadak.
Second the motion.
Sherry.
Just to manifest, Honorable
Yes, go
Chair,
ahead,
this will
Honorable.
be in addition to the hazard pay that has been allowed by the DBM. This would be a city of financial assistance, which, of course, we will still consider if we have savings, and we will still consider who the frontliners who are affected by any public emergency.
Okay,
So,
that's noted. Honorable Sadak.
I think it is also a good idea to pass this ordinance so that our frontliners will know that they are being appreciated.
Okay, that is a very good suggestion. Any more comments? We have a pending motion by the Honorable Kainday. Any second? Any objections? Further discussion? So we refer this to the committee chair, the committees on
Health, disaster,
and
finance.
disaster and finance. Next item, Mr. Secretary.
Okay, now move on to the review of Barangay H 2020 annual budget.
The Madam Floor Leader.
Honorable Presiding Officer, I move that we refer this matter to the Committee on Finance, chaired by yours truly, for further review with our budget officer.
Any second? Second. Any objections? None. So we refer this to the Committee on Finance. Next item, Mr.
Next
Secretary.
item, announcement.
The Madam Floor Leader.
Honorable Presiding Officer, we have a guest right now. We have our City Information Officer for certain clarifications from this August body. I therefore move that we suspend our internal rules of procedure so that we can propound question to our guest.
Any objections? None. So our internal rules is hereby temporarily suspended.
But before we entertain the resource speaker,
Yes, go ahead,
we
Honorable
clarify
Aswin.
what is the position of this August body. Are we covered by the deprivation of gathering of large crowd? Covered pa tayo yan. Prohibited kita mag...
Gamit it mic kay. Nagkabati din.
Are we likewise, are we included in the protocol that discouraging the large crowd gathering?
Yes.
The conduct conversation, is that included?
Yes, I think we are. The Honorable Sadak.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, 50
More.
persons or more. So we're less than 50.
So this is not
So
considered
this is
a large
not
gathering.
considered a large
Crowd.
gathering.
And we are already observing social, no, no, for not social distancing but physical distancing. Okay, physical. So dit aton City Information Officer, hinon may pakiana.
Good morning.
Pingaga, ma'am.
Good morning, Honorable Tusongko and the rest of the SP members. Good morning.
The Honorable Arago.
Anya na ang semana, Madam Information Officer.
Opo.
We were able to read a communication from your office hinin nga pag-distribute ang mga
Food packs.
aid,
Opo, food packs.
aid to barangays.
Opo.
And we were amazed nga medyo I see it ka nanginginhanglan hindi likadisa ni mo pronouncement. Let me read the part of it. Kung anong mga pagkaon dilata bugas ang ipinanahatag nga bulig ni Mayor Agda hay iya mga mulupyo. Ini nga trabaho in iya hulos nga igintatapon ang mga barangay officials. What came into our mind talaga the word nga paghingaran nimo en usala ka tawo. And everybody knows the funding sources, all of this comes from the city government.
Okay po.
Anamo naman la kunta ng kamayadahan delikadisa, you should have named it in the name of the city government coffers.
Okay po.
Because all of these funds comes from the taxes of our constituents, not just from one person, not just from the Sangguniang Bayan members, not just from the employees of the municipality, but coming from the coffers of the municipality. Ang pakiana kay anong nasugat. So sana kunta ng kamayada nimo anay hin pamakiana na mala didahan siguro advice from a higher authority from you before dispatching this message to the whole population of Burungan and even to the province.
Okay
Are you aware of this?
Yes po, okay.
Yeah.
Good morning. As of today, duduha na iton admin, didaheton aton page. Iton ikaduha Ma'am Alice nga ni Cart. And based on what you have read, tikang iton haiya. Bali, nagduduha na kami na because diri ko na nasasayo an panganswer nga han paghataghan mga information because adi daman naka-ground just like today dapat adi kami hakalingatngan or nga diha surok San Mateo panhataghan food packs pero medyo nadilatar kay along the way didihit pag repacking panhatag diri pa daman nasasayo. So I included Ma'am Alice Nicart, the consultant, para mabulig hiya didahan admin makabulig ha akan hiton nga pang-answer. So therefore, I would like to apologize and I will ask the attention of Ma'am Alice nga to ibahan iton linya because in my capacity hiton nga pagpiangansiran permanente takit ginagamit city government of Borongan. Yan na late iton with Ma'am Alice nga nabutang na hiya nga hit kan mayor wara ko petiya kayakan wara ko pahiya ka mention nga dapat city government of Borongan.
Is Mrs. Nicart an employee of the municipal government? Or just a personal advisor of the mayor?
What I heard, consultant.
So, ini nga iyo communication, maaram ka mo hininga duha.
I give her the authority to kuan based on kung ano iton clamor, kung ano iton kailangan needed based on the messages ng mga inaarong nga kailangan ma-inform ang tao. So I give her the full blanket authority to answer but not on iton the idea nga he mayor. Because in my case, I was given also a reprimand from the mayor hanuna when I was naging susolo ko niya ngaran that it should be the city government of Borongan.
Honorable Presiding Officer.
Yes, go ahead, Honorable Kainday.
Siguro Ma'am Cynthia, point lahit Sanggunian is that you are the city information and ginadak ko ipat irresponsibilidad kay tao hit Borongan since ada ka social media permi na nagbabasa dito yung page and itiba diri maaram that this comes from siguro taxes of the people o kaya other information, they would take it nga asyarte tama, di ba?
Okay,
so, ikaw po department head, that's why we called you. Kay, since you are the one who's still responsible hiton nga department at city information, siguro parang part of Sanggunian, we just want you to be more careful when announcing to the public kung ano man aton karagig announce. Similarly, ditohan pag-answerhan questions sa didahan aton enhanced community quarantine kay ako speaking lahat akan personal nga experience and I know di ba pa din nga Sangguniang Panlungsod members and amon cellphone aga-aga pala pagtigang enhanced community quarantine din at naudong han tawag, han text, han messages didahan messenger tung para la pag-clarify hini nga aton enhanced community quarantine. This executive order was drafted by our city legal officer. So I think antes kita mag-interpret at aton sariling interpretation, let us first ask kung diri man ni mayor at aton city legal officer nga naghimo hinhini base mas klarado kay udo naka-screenshot man dito ano yung unang naging siring tapos mali din-edit nagiging tama na but still this has led to confusion. So please be responsible pa po more parang kami nga you are being responsible na pero I think you need to be more responsible pa yan because we are under a public health emergency and information to the people, correct information to the people is vital. So, asalat nagiging worried Sanggunian aside from other, siguro ito nga mga na-mention lahi mayor, direct city government, usala damit hit mga lapses but I think you need to correct this misinformation to the people para maaram smooth sailing light ato niya na nga operations lalo na naka-enhanced community quarantine kita.
Kung pwede ma-post liwat ha information office
Yes.
na page na ini nga second wave para makompleto laan kuan. Opo, kay bangin ang gasinira asya natan ika duha nga kuan nga panhatag.
Opo, oo.
Opo.
Oo, na kuan la kita because kinadidaman kita ha GTR may dagin kuan asset. Anyway, masunod na po itiya. Diri na isang bagsakan na lahiya. Ang doble na
For 1 week na kumbaga.
quantity.
Mr. Chair,
yes,
another
sir,
point of clarification. Hino ba itong not-charge itong identification per family? In a household?
Barangay,
not check.
primero, an initial data coming from the barangay affairs. Pag hanina na nga per family na, an waray na ka-account, the barangay captain dapat hiraan accountable, responsible in going to the different areas and iya barangay kung hinuan waray pa katatagi. So, makurita itiya na. Pero, hindi dahil amon group chat with Dr. Sadak, we are encouraging lahat tagan, just like kung ano itong mandato di habaw-baw, lahat tatagan, please coordinate, please be patient, tagi tahiran na tanan hiratagan. Asa kung habagait. Di maram hinot admin, doktora. Hinot admin.
Kasi importante talaga ito na mga ingat group chat gay in a household
Yes, po.
pananglitan tutulo ka pamilya at naukoy it pag-identify ka pamilya mga nasiring may adida nanay nga may anak bulag hit asawa and they are living with their parents. That is another family. There is another child may asawa nga may anak naman. That is another family. Bang hindi rin katagan. So it's very important pag-identify talaga itong pamilya.
Tama ito. Dapat kasi trabaho ito ng BSW eh.
Yes, yes.
At aset nga, kung isisinuad ko pa itanunay na community-based monitoring system. Para itatin din, puro sa lang implementation. Kasi ada na datos kinikita ta. So, ganyan ang ay, anda mo itat. Para mo padagmit, tama ito na barangay. Ang barangay lang, masabit nga na city.
Opo. Just like, another case is, yan to hiya habato ang profiling, yan hina-resident na hiya nga, iya pag-ukay, di dinahin iba nga barangay, hain hiya ika-count, hain hiya makuha. So these are some cases. Yeah, opo. Makuri na talaga mga kapitan na talaga yan na dadadlagan the term.
Yes, go ahead, Honorable Bagakay.
It was as yesterday during the press briefing. By the way, the next press briefing will be Monday. Dapat every 3 days, pero kay Sunday man hiton ikatulo ka adlaw adto na hiton Monday, press briefing with the manager, engineer bosses, at the same time ako kay waray man he mayor, ako, and then engineer bosses, and then we will be inviting some guests, probably din or other department heads, to clarify kung ano ninanabo at update hiton aton COVID. Opo.
Yes, go ahead, Honorable Arago, and then Honorable Suet.
Okay.
Last round of questions before we say, go ahead, Honorable Arago.
I'm just concerned with the funding. Kaya totoo pa ni Kagawad Baga, kaya bakit kita magkulang. Kaya subnaw siguro calamity fund ginagamit.
Yun, wala di pa ngayon nakaman ginyayakan. Confirm adto ni ni engineer bosses nga makas ya daw ko nga dahil iton nga ikaduha ka kapanhatag next week.
During our first meeting na mayor, kasi targeted lang kasi ang primero.
Opo.
Tapos yan, nag-uubos na lang. So, asa kung tayo, kung bawang din rin sa kailangan.
As siya man aniyayakan ni engineer bosses, makakaya ko no
Makakaya
niya
ito
per
na-
family.
Ano daw lang ang mga pundo at nagagamit? Pwede ka magpakiana.
Wara po.
Calamity fund na kay we are
Calamity
already
fund.
yes, oo.
In makudisyon with calamity fund, kaya bangin mag-iha ini nga gayon. Ako daw lang ito natin mahimo. If we can have an immediate move itong Sangguniang Panlungsod also.
Kung may suggestion
Yes,
ito.
go ahead, Honorable Suyat.
May suggestion ito. Kung ito ang ginraise including sa provincial level, it can mga unnecessary office budget. Even our travel fund, pwede kita makapagsakripisyo for the meantime.
So,
kinahanglanan man.
what I mean is, mahilatla kita iton request iton mayor.
Yes.
Mahilatla kita.
That's it.
Mahilatla kita.
Let it be relayed to the mayor. No? I-relay ito natin information office. I-relay ito natin information officer to the mayor nga ikita ready kita, mahilatla kita kung ano ito niya request if ever kulangan itong pundo.
Yes. Okay. Honorable Suyat.
As ito nag-importante ang suggestion naman kahina ni Honorable Arago, nag-importante dapat bulig it group chat. Kaya so ito niya nga suggestion para nare-reach ito. Para aware ito nga tanan. Para in case na kinahanglanon na, ubos kita magkukuruan. Itak na mapakiaan ng pagkura-ura na yun nga sitwasyon, di rin na ma-alawin, so gay na magsisesyon kita. Tinawag ka kan DIRD Director Kanyeha.
Yes.
Kontra authorization, kinagadla ko rin nga magterelipon or ano yun. May nga mag-vision, we will defend that. As it has the ring.
Anyway, regarding hining kan mayor, actually, the office of the vice mayor and the secretariat just received a request from the mayor on yung nagtatakol tayo. Okay. So, any more questions? No more? Yes, go ahead, Honorable Chu.
Mr. Presiding Officer, ano daw lakon ini nga aton mga punong barangay, di ba naka-quarantine hira? So, itak kasi pa kayo baro, mga grad, parang surag ta matatangpos na nira pag quarantine yan ang 29. ano daw lang kung pwede tadamit iton ma-request kan Ma'am Cynthia kung pwede ma-post nga ito niya mga barangay official nga nag-quarantine is nag-undergo yaran 14 days na quarantine. Pagpahibarohit publiko it molupyo kasi tiba parang nasa ring nga bangin niya ba iwasan hi kapitan, hi kagawad kay nakatuhira ka bagyo. Kumbaga pagpahibaro nga ito niya human na hanira quarantine period.
They will be,
Siya po.
Yes,
Para mahibaro la naman po it kadaman nga ito niya nag-undergo so okay na hira, clear na hira.
Oo,
Para
and-
hindi ba naman kung hira iwasan.
Yeah.
Opo, may daman iginhahatag nga certificate hiton CHO kung nahuman na yan iya 14-day quarantine period.
Yes, okay. So, any more questions?
Just add information, Mr. Presiding Officer. Itagon opisina, Sangguniang, natagakin mga knapsack power sprayer para pagdidisinfectan mga barangay. Inaro kan mayorhan, hainan nga mga barangay kay Guteng man lang. Although ang mga board members sa from Borongan, including the Vice Governor and the Governor, maghaharatag man nga tanan. Natin lang ang maubos kuntaan Borongan. Kaso lang na stop ang supply, pero yan may damanam din ang priority naman ang daman PUN nga barangay, nga daman nga PUI. Para itong pagdi-disinfect sige lang.
Okay. Noted. So, any
Noted
more
po,
suggestions?
noted po.
So, Ma'am City Information, please take note ng mga suggestion ng ato na Sangguniang Panlungsod members para mas maging polished. And remember that the Sangguniang Panlungsod is in full support at imo office. So, bisan ano nga kuan, may baro ala kami, kita man may bubulig. So, ma'am, thank you very much.
Thank you. Again, it is well taken. I have here back-to-back page ng mga concerns. Salamat for being candid hiton kung ano niyo inaabat and pagbulig ha akan nga diton opisina. We will do something on this. Thank you so much and good morning po.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, Madam Floor Leader.
Honorable Presiding Officer, I move that we lift our suspension of our IRP so that we can proceed with our session.
Any objections? None. So the temporary suspension of our internal rules is hereby lifted. Madam Floor Leader.
Honorable Presiding Officer, we have received a communication from the Executive Office requesting to include in our regular session the executive agenda to pass and approve an ordinance reverting savings from the unfilled personnel items in the executive department from January to March 2020, amounting to 4,175,625.
To be utilized for what? Revert to...
To be utilized for executive services, environment and sanitary services, and other MOE. Honorable Presiding Officer, I move that we include this in our order of business.
Any second? Any objections? None. So the motion of Madam Floor Leader is hereby approved. Madam Floor Leader. Honorable Arago.
Again, there is also an information that reached my cell phone. Itong senior citizens, nakikinilat na ito ng era pondo. And then, kung may linitaw nga, we lack funds amounting 62.
May update.
May
update po nila yun.
Okay. In fact, I have forwarded the communication to Kagawad Lyra Limbawan regarding that.
Madam Floor Leader.
Honorable Presiding Officer, this executive agenda, which was referred to the Sangguniang, I move that we refer this matter to the Committee on Finance, chaired by yours truly, and the Committee on Environment, chaired by Honorable Daza, for further meetings, since this is a lump sum appropriation of the salary savings part. It needs to be, we need more information for us to be able to allow this supplemental, this diversion of the budget.
Any objections for the discussions? None. So the motion of Honorable Kainda is hereby approved. Refer to the Committee on
Finance and Environment, since most of this is for environment services.
Okay. So next item, Mr. Secretary.
Announcement.
Announcements. The Honorable Limbawan.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. Regarding query ni Honorable Arago about the one-time grant that we appropriated last December 2019, tama po nga damo na ito natin senior citizens nga nailiw kasi it's already been December, January, February, 4 months. Almost 4 months na. And up until now, waray laghap ka didistribute ini nga aton one-time grant. So, last Monday, ang akong staff naka-receive hin communication from our CSWDO nga may data deficit nga 62,600 pesos. So, nagkulang ang natin gin-appropriate last December. So, I think this is the reason why nadidelay ang pag-distributehan one-time grant. So I talked with Mayor nga I asked him if we could appropriate again this amount na 62,000. And unfortunately, Mayor willing maghatagin fund for this. And then upon talking with our budget officer, she was already looking for funds for the 62,000. Tapos early this morning ladaman, may na naman bag-o nga pasahan aton CSWDO hanakon staff nga bag-o nga amount nga ang deficit naman nag-amount na to 212,000. So parang from there nakastora ko natin budget officer parang direct pa hiya maaram kunding kukuhanin nga amount. Tapos, tinawag na naman natin si SWDO, Ma'am Elsie Ador, nga diri pa kuno final ini nga payroll. So, karet ko like inform ito natin SP members and our senior citizens nga ini nga payroll naghuhulat-la kita tikang ito natin CSWD. So, parang ito hikita as Sangguniang Panlungsod members, we are always willing to help in kung may matter hit pag-appropriating funds. Hiya ko as the committee chair hiton social welfare, I have been following up with the CSWDO regarding hingatan one-time grant, pero milit hera nagkakaproblema hiton paghimon payroll. Ngani nag-offer na akan staff nga bumulig era, but still up until now dire lagi pera nakakapag-finalize sa nila payroll. So I think we have to call the attention of our CSWDO regarding this one-time grant. Kung ano't na hinanabo nga up until now dire lagi pera nakapag-finalize nga payroll.
Yes,
Mr. President, that's very true. I think kung mahimo nga ni today, patawagan. Kasi the last time I attended the committee meeting, it was very clear na may near cut-off date.
Yun nga po.
Ngayon na, sige, tira pag adjusting cut-off date, that's precisely one of the main reasons. Nga, sige, pag adjust ka, may daging dudugang. Why not stick to the cut-off date? Then, kunada na niya pundo ang cut-off date, regardless yung may dapat kulangan, ihatag na. Ihatag na, pagkaya na. Kaya, they have been waiting for that. Kan kita tamay, kung tayo na ang panahon, kaya kinanginhanglan nila. Di rin na maghidilat ka ni itong release, itong additional fund. Itong wara hiupod, nga kariyag pa nila matagan, asa nila ito hulatit additional fund. Ito niya na, kay mamadamo, kati upay, kinanginhanglan, if ever possible, i-proceed na nila payroll, ihatag na ito, kwarta. That will lessen the burden on the part of the city government and that could lessen the burden on the part of the committee and the CSWDO. So that's if ever the body will be agreeable, I suggest ihatag na niya kwarta, regardless kulang o ano. Kaya kutiin ang malaking kakulangan. In fact, bangin tangan ito ma-arrange. Kaya bangin nilaging dinugangan, tikan na natin cut-off date. Nasarig na matira eksakto na.
Kasi just a clarification again, kay parang dati, nagka may dahin misinformation again, tikang ito natin budget, ngayon ito natin CSWDO. Kasi dati nag-request kita natin budget if pwede ba nga per batch since ano iba waray papakakapagpasan payroll. But ang ating budget, sinari nga diri pwede kay parang basta kailangan buo nga payroll itong maipasit CSWDO. Asya nga, milak kompleto laning nirain nga payroll na daman. But yan na, ambot kung agreeable itong body, itong suggestion ni Honorable Arago nga, i-proceed ta na natin gin-appropriate nga 6,166,500 pesos bisan kung may data pa deficit according to our CSWDO nga 212,000 as of today. And sanig pa ni LC Ador, direct ako na iniya final. So I don't know what's gonna happen.
Honorable President.
Yes, go ahead, Honorable Lakay.
Siguro it concernhin niya na if we, kasi if I'm not mistaken, this has already been approved by the Sanggunian last year, December 11 or December 13, and it's already January, February, March, diba, almost 4 months, 3 to 4 months na hiya nga diri na implementarhin maupay. So, if we will give this money to be distributed to the senior citizens na Pinoy magpipili ito niya 200,000 plus nga dapat ihatag nga itong pipera nga seniors. Hinit magpipilit seniors nga diri tatagan. That will become a problem. Pero, as I see it, even if we really want kaya hatag ito niya nga tanan, may na talaga diri lilipay. So, I think we need to call our representative from the City Social Welfare Development Office kay or medyo giihay na gadamain nga pag hinulat 3 months or 4 months para at mga senior citizens nga ato naging announce nga may tayahatag nga grant. So siguro in the exercise of our oversight function, we should call up the attention of the CSWDO and even our budget officer to help us finalize a number for senior citizens. And if this is the di ba we already passed an ordinance para at mga senior citizens nga may da grant nga every month from the city. If inilanganin nga one-time grant kinukurian kita, what is our assurance nga ito nga gahatag ta monthly tat city tat mga senior citizens may hatag nirahin maupay. So there is something wrong. Direct nga department ka mag-iimplementar.
Yes, yes.
So parang I suggest that the body calls up our representative from CSWDO to explain this matter.
Okay, yes, go ahead, Honorable Suyot.
Yeah, ko I subscribe to the idea of Honorable Malcharago. Kung ano tada release na ito para masunod i-reappropriate na lang. Although, kakinahanglanan na ito ni Raya na. Ngayon, another suggestion siguro, probably nag-isuga naman kita ito kay at nga panahon ba natin itong pag-approve, may naman certificate of availability of funds.
Yes, there was.
Everything ito na addition, ira itong magulangan nakita.
Yes. Yun na like na
Yun na lang nira kakita. So, based on what has been approved 4 months ago, it should be the basis. Yan na, pag-reappropriate na lang kita.
Exactly.
Mas makuha ito magamit nira.
Exactly.
Yung kinanglanan nito nira.
Asyad pakiana kung kaya nung adigin i-implementar ito opisina ito. So, Mr. Secretary, please take note of the suggestion that we invite our CSWDO and our Ma'am Alice, City Budget Officer, in our next session. Please send invitation letter.
Shall we wait until the next session?
Honorable Presiding
If
Officer,
possible now.
Ito natin CSWD officer, Ma'am Thelma Banal, and then next ay Ma'am Elseador, naka-quarantine po hira, given that they are already senior citizens.
The more that money should be extended already, should be given. Kasi diri hira nakakapag, we do not talk ng dasan and this should be immediate
Correct niyo yan.
Kung naada na itong mayor, at I think, naada na itong payroll, can we...
Quarantine po kasi ang duduha nga.
Okay. So, 5-minute recess. Session resumed. I would like to acknowledge the presence of our very masipag City Mayor, Honorable Mayor Dayan Nagda. Next item, Mr. Secretary.
Adjournment.
Madam Floor Leader.
Honorable Presiding Officer, I move for the adjournment of the 31st regular session of the Sangguniang.
Any objections? There being none, so our 31st regular session is now adjourned at 12:08. Okay, salamat.